Welcome back. I was shooting this local match a week ago and had an idea. Why don't I shoot a relay while plotting with SC Plotter? As I noted in my previous video, I don't do that normally during string fire. But there is no better way to demonstrate the power of plotting, whether on a manual plotomatic or an electronic one. So here is the result of that experiment. Before we start, let's talk about the rifle and load. This is the gray stock rifle that you saw in the seating depth video. The caliber is .284 Winchester with 180 grain Berger hybrids. I'm using this match to check the tune assumptions generated during the seating depth fine-tuning session. The temperature today is 60 to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, despite a forecast temperature about 10 degrees warmer. I only adjusted the charge upward 0.2 of a grain of powder from before. So I'm looking for a velocity in the 2800 to 2810 range as a result. This batch of ammunition is seated to the 59,000 setting, as shown in the seating depth video. I'm assigned target number 8 today, and the camera is set about 1 meter to the right of my shooting position. You will be able to see the bullet trace occasionally, just before the muzzle smoke obscures the view. Flight time is around 0.7 of a second, so don't blink. This particular range has an odd flagpole setup. As a result, I cannot see any flags from my shooting position. So this will be a Mirage-only experience. This is the first match of the morning, with unlimited sighter shots. That is a good thing for me because I have cleaned the barrel to bare steel, and will need a few shots to get the barrel seasoned and back to grouping well. Alright, there's the first sighter. I'm holding a little into the Mirage. I've learned to undervalue the Mirage as I practice here a couple of times a month. As expected, the first shot from the barrel lands low. The chronograph showed that the velocity was 80 feet per second slower than normal. This is not unusual for a clean barrel, but I'd not want to make a sight adjustment off of that shot. For the hunters out there is a lesson in this. Make certain you shoot a few shots through your barrel before going out on that hunt of a lifetime. Being off by 80 feet per second would result in a miss, or worse, a wounded animal. Alright, back to competition shooting. The second shot is quite a bit faster, about up to the expected velocity, and it lands quite a bit higher. Now, I've heard people say that their barrels take 15 or 20 shots to foul in after cleaning. I've never experienced that. As you will see, the rifle will be grouping from sighter shot 2 through the end. For the third and fourth sighters, I just hold off for the sight error on the rifle. I'm testing my assumptions before making a sight adjustment. Let's center up that group horizontally. I use the plotter to decide what the exact setting should be. Based on the Mirage I was observing, I decided to do just 2 clicks instead of 3. Notice sighter number 5 fell back down with the other 2 shots, so now I have a good indication of where the extents of the group will be vertically. I just centered up with a couple of clicks. Okay, last sighter. No use in firing anymore. The rifle appears to be grouping well. Let's go for record. I'm not going to do a play-by-play here. I think you all can see exactly what I'm seeing. I'll just call out any oddities of note. I'm shooting slower today because there's no reason to hurry. A quick note here, with the amount of Mirage present and the image shifting associated with it, I'm having to estimate my hold location when plotting. The target is bouncing around so much that there's about a 1 to 2 inch uncertainty as to where the rifle is actually pointed.
Jammed. Maybe you can get the round out of there. That's it for me. What's the problem? What's the matter? I like it. Then you get to some different ammo. 6 on? spot. No, didn't show up, did it? Show up, and I know that's the right target. I know I shot at it. So what happens? Shoot takes
If you're getting value from this, please like and subscribe. If you want more in-depth analysis of the shooting and wind reading techniques, consider supporting us on Patreon. After this 12th shot, I decided that being a little more intentional about when I shot would be a good idea. There is no reason to rely on the ballistics of the cartridge. It saved me once. That's enough. The 13th shot landed in a location that didn't work with the Mirage present. So it's time to move over and protect that right side.
No fire. Still having trouble? Okay, he has the right. X, 14 on. There's something falling right because you're not. You got something wrong with your rifle, Brian.
I decided to come up another click here. As you can see, that leaves me a little exposed at the top of the X-ring. I did that because I felt like the conditions were leading to hitting in the lower portion of the target, and I was seeing less target image shifting. The wind started to whistle just a little bit right here. Being intentional about what wind I shoot in, I took a short break, then shot into it anyway. What happened shows the turbulence we get on this range. The trees tend to start swirling like a washing machine. Even though we have a strong left to right Mirage indication, the bullet definitely drifted the opposite direction. Knowing that the situation could change and following my habit patterns, I held left again on the final shot. A little less, but still enough to cost me an X. Sometimes reading the wind indications is not enough to score an X. Now that we're done, let's switch to the standard plot of this target and compare it to the shot marker display. I noticed that I didn't do a perfect job of plotting my shots, but I think it was adequate. I think that plotting is a great way to learn to center up your groups. Only by centering up properly will you achieve your maximum scores. If you're shooting 2 to a mound, it is almost an imperative to plot. That is, it is if you have my lack of memory and mental processor speed. Well, that's all I have for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed the opportunity to shoot mid-range with me. Until next time, shoot straight, do some plotting, and I'll see you in the next video.